I do like this little room better. I think it's more appropriate. I don't like being in the library talking and bothering anybody and also having to whisper. So in here, I think I should do the videos in a place like this where I don't have to be so quiet. I don't have to worry about bothering people that are studying or reading something else. Um, we'll see what happens this summer. I hope to come back tomorrow, and then it'll be opening later on Saturday, closed Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. Summer school starts, and I'm not sure how busy it gets. What is that? That's 20%, 5,000 out of 27,000. 20% students. I should take a course again. It's good to push yourself. Uh, Good to keep learning. There's so much going on, it's hard to keep up. It's impossible. It's impossible. I was just reading this one article about a book. The book is called Cobalt Red. It's about what's the country? Um, Democratic Republic of Congo. Uh, 2016 Amnesty International and the Watchdog Group have put out a report that tied companies like Apple and Samsung to exploitatively mine cobalt. So we need cobalt for our smartphones, and it talks about the history of the Congo and the Belgium colony. Got its independence in 1960, but they didn't like the anti-imperialist leader. So Belgium and maybe the CIA too helped put in Mobutu, who was a ruthless, murderous dictator for 30 years. And we can avoid looking at shit like this, but we won't learn from our past. And some of these people that want nothing but this. America's great. We're great. Yeah, everything. It's just not realistic. In Florida, who is it? DeSantis, who is restricting all sorts of speech because he thinks it's inappropriate and un-American to tell the truth, including talking about climate change, while Florida is being battered and it'll only get worse. So that's a good example of a maniac running your society that you voted in. It's a democracy. Floridians vote DeSantis in, and then he rejects the idea of climate change, and the hurricanes get worse, and flooding gets worse, and home insurance goes up, and it's our own fault. Our fault. So anyway, about the Congo, and I don't think I brought it up where China is doing these war games circling Taiwan, basically. Now, Trump talks tough about China. I mean, he seems to love Russia and their dictator and no human rights in Russia, but doesn't like the dictator in China and says we're going to have tariffs and promote our manufacturing. And actually, Biden is doing that too. But what people don't realize, Walmart is about 20 miles from here. Their headquarters. I'm in Fayetteville. They're in Bentonville. It's like 20 miles. They had a Buy American thing. What was that? 20 years ago? 25. But it didn't do that great because if something is, let's say a pair of jeans is made in America and it's $40 and the pair of jeans made in China and it's 15. Who do you think is going to sell the most jeans? We don't really care if China uses slave labor. We don't really care if they have no human rights, including freedom of religion and speech and assembly and press. We like cheap shit. We like cheap things. It's pretty immoral. Don't care. We want cheap stuff. So I'm going to guess over half of what is in Walmart's is from China. I think that's a good guess. I think that's low. I'll say it again. Over half of what's in Walmart is made in China. A country with no freedoms. Communist dictatorship. No freedom of religion, no freedom of press, no freedom of speech. And we like their stuff because it's cheap. Who does that make us? Supporters of a country with no human rights. So who is America? Who are we? What do we stand for? It's hard. It's hard to be a human being. It's hard to try to figure out the right things to do. But supporting inhumanity and dictatorship is certainly wrong. And seeing so much homelessness and inequality is certainly wrong. And destroying the planet with fossil fuels, partly because there's 8 billion people today. So it's built up since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, but what's coming out today is, always a record. Like I said, last summer was the hottest summer in 2,000 years. So heat, drought, fire, water scarcity. There was water scarcity in Houston last year, third largest city in America. They had terrible flooding recently. All these dramatic storms and dramatic heat, and that's what extreme weather extreme, that's what they say climate change will do, and destroy a lot and increase the cost of a lot of things, including foods, including energy, including insurance, housing. So we've got a lot to do, but if we don't face up to it, that's a true sin. Let's face up to it and just do the best we can. So I'm going to read, it's just, the nuttiness of Earth. Here we go. Okay. This is what they're eating. A house-cured smoked salmon, red grapefruit, avocado and cucumber starter, dry-aged ribeye beef in a sesame sabayon sauce, salted caramel pistachio cake under a layer of matcha ganache. This was a state dinner for the Japanese leader, Biden, and I should get some other stuff on some of these Michelin-starred restaurants that rich people go and eat at, and it costs $300, $400, and the cost of wine or drinks and gratuity, like obscenity, that we think it's okay to have kings that are living like this in palatial mansions and driving $90,000 cars or $150,000 cars and eating $300 dinners and what's it called? Haute couture. The dresses that cost $10,000. Haute cuisine. Haute, Haute. Took me a while to learn how to say that. Even a country boy can learn. Haute cuisine, haute couture. And we kind of follow along like, wow, look at these people. Or wow, look at those dresses. Wow, look at that food. Like beggars, peasants looking up to the aristocracy in awe and oh, look how beautiful they look in their haute couture. Wow, we're addicted or we're blinded. We're blinded by these things and not facing what we need to face as good human beings and good citizens. One of the worst things we're blinded with is sports. It seems like a lot of men, especially men, women too, but crazy. They go crazy about sports, crazy about football in Europe, or not just Europe, in the world, crazy about what we call soccer, but they call football. All this passion, all this energy, all about this sport. But you don't see a lot of that passion and energy about feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, creating a society of equals, protecting human rights, protecting this sacred planet's environmental health. And it's not just men. Women seem preoccupied with how they look. I still don't understand why. What are high heels? Why are high heels, still around? What's the point? I think the point is to look seductive. The point is to look different than you actually are. With heels that are 4 inches high, you're trying to make it unreal. Like you're really 5'6", but with your heels, you're 5'10". If that is better, how is that better? Well, it's just sexy, I guess. So it's a seduction, and a lot of today's artists and videos and such, it's definitely a seduction of the crowd and a seduction of the consumer. Not so much about the art of the music, but how beautiful and sexy the woman, or the dancers look. And men can be guilty of that too, but women just naturally, I guess, we look at women as the beautiful ones, and men not so much. Just like, I guess in cardinals, the beautiful red one is the male to take attention, and the female is more of a average color. So in our own species, I would say, I think history has shown, I guess, women are the more beautiful of the sexes, and men are, we are what we are, but women are the beauty, as well as being the mothers and the foundation of life, the life givers. But I guess my point was giving focus to the fundamentals of humanity and the fundamentals of civilization, if you want to call it civilization. Learning how to be a better person, a better human being. All these religions, you can pray to whatever you want to. I don't really think that matters if you're going to be greedy and hateful. And a lot of these religions, it seems like the men are so self-centered and so misogynistic. It's almost like they hate women. And they can talk about putting them up on a pedestal, but what they really want to do is keep them in the back. And men are going to make all the decisions, and men are going to be in control, and men are going to control their women. And all about me, me, me. It's like an animal from 10,000 years ago that never developed, the man that never developed into a better human being that understands the complexity and the humanity and the beauty of all of us, and that one sex is not better than the other and doesn't deserve more power or authority or anything than the other. Uh, Women need to stand up more for themselves, but not in a way that makes them better than men. They're not better than men, but men certainly aren't better than women either. So we have our work cut out for us. So let's work to create a better place, better people. Let's try to become better people ourselves and enjoy this ride. It's a short ride. Have some fun, have some joy, laugh, and appreciate each other, create, learn. I hope that for you as well as all of us. My friends, you are my star. And partly I say that because you are part of a star. Everything here used to be a star that exploded. And Carl Sagan called it, we are stardust. Yeah, you're a star. You are a star. And let's start acting